Startup Istanbul Demo Day, and this is the finals. Last week we did 3 back-to-back, and now we have a roster of 9 startups from 7 different countries. Again, as diverse as it would have been if we were in Istanbul. We have international investors, people with experience in grilling startups, but this is not a roaster show, and I'm not going to do the roasting as well. So we have new faces. For those of you who haven't seen, we have Andres and Vijay as our final Demo Day judges. And guys, if you want to introduce yourselves real quick, we'll start after that point.
Sure, I can go in first. Thank you, Ozan. That's great seeing you again. One of the best MCs on the job. Always do a world-class act, so really enjoyed. Quick introduction. My name is Vijay Tirethrai. I'm the Managing Director at Techstars, based in Abu Dhabi, and been an entrepreneur for the last 35 years, actively investing in as an angel investor in companies. So delighted to be here. I was involved in Startup Istanbul last year in September, and nice to be back. So thanks for having me.
You're welcome. Thank you so much for your kind words.
And hi, I'm Andres Schabelman. I was an early Airbnb employee, one of the first 30 there, and I helped them expand to, I think, 11 countries in something like 8 months, and hired over 300 people there, and eventually made it to Fiverr again as the VP of International, expanding Fiverr, the largest freelance marketplace, to a bunch of different countries, and went public with them. I sort of built my career around tech, around figuring out ways to tap into emotional resonance with companies to figure out how to build organic growth. I'm very sensitive to how companies can tap into and listen to, without making too many assumptions, the communities that they're trying to reach. And now I am part-time going into the acting world as well. So I am an active angel investor, and also acting, and I still have my consulting side, which is geared towards helping marketplaces and platforms expand.
Perfect. So Anders is the first actor investor. I'm sure there are many more. It's great. I hope you can find this 9 international batch quite exciting. They're already planning to go global and do outreach. One technical suggestion I would have for you is, while you're listening to the pitches, if you can mute yourself and turn the cameras off, and as soon as the pitches are ending, turn your camera on and turn your microphone on. So usually we don't have too much technical glitches, but when we do, it's kind of, there's an echo behind and everything else. So with that, let's kick this off. So our first startup that will be pitching is coming from pitching all the way from Indonesia. We'll have Azhar pitching at Studgames.
Hi, my name is Azhar with Sultan and Abdurrahman. We are from Studgames. We are preparing future doctors in the new normal era. We are medical students ourselves, and we face many problems. First, we are getting kicked from the hospital, so we can't see any patients. In the new normal era, we will see lesser patients. We also have very boring and long medical lectures. It is also hard to grasp the important information in clinical cases. The solution that we would like to offer is simulate clinical patients using bite-sized content and giving the clinical cases essential information. So the market in the world, currently more than 11 million medical students, and there are valuation more than 80 billion US dollar. Here is the competitor. However, we have multiplayer features, bite-sized content, and simulate patient digitally. So the features is simulate clinical cases, clinical patients in real-time multiplayer or solo learning sessions. The traction currently more than 500 users, So they say engage lecturer and student create high quality discussion session rather than one-sided boring lectures. And at November, we got appreciation from International Conference of Medical Education. The business model is premium content subscription. And here is our team. We have been together for 3 years with software developments, business, marketing, and branding experiences. So what we need is $100 to achieve growth more than 20% per month. In the end, it will have 11,000 users and $13,000 per month. Thank you.
Perfect. And now we're going to have the founder online as well. And if you have any questions, Asar is coming up and it will be like fire in the hole. Asar is just joined. Welcome.
Hello? Do you hear me?
Yes.
Thank you, Zen.
Remember to speak slowly as we did last time.
Yes.
Thank you. Andres, any questions? You're muted.
Sorry?
We're trying to get Andres unmuted. So I'll mute myself for Andres. Maybe there's a capacity issue. Should be right next to the camera sign if you can see it.
I got it. Okay. Hey there. I don't know what happened, but I missed the first 24 seconds, so I actually didn't even understand what your company does. So I know it's silly for me to ask this, but what do you actually do?
Thank you for the question. So what we do is creating mobile apps that help medical students to learn in new normal era where we are seeing lesser patient to study for. So we are creating digital patient with bite-sized content learning and more important clinical information. So it's more effective and efficient to learn.
That's helpful. So are the cases that you've uploaded based on real cases?
Yes.
And is it a chat bot, or is it an actual person that is responding to the medical students' questions, or is it not an interactive question and answer type of dynamic?
It is more like a decision making. So there will be a digital patient generated from real patient, and medical students will choose what will they do. Will it be asking the question, for example, like doing examination, or for example, like doing blood tests, black examination, or runs X-ray examination. So we accumulate what they did and accumulate the scores. So the score is like how fast they diagnosis and give the treatment for the patient.
Do you have mechanisms in place to judge based on like bedside manners? So the way in which a doctor and a patient interact on a personable level, aside from just the decision-making ability?
Not yet.
And are you thinking your primary person that you're going to sell to is going to be university medical schools, or who will be the person that will be most interested in your application?
Mostly the medical students and the medical schools. However, there are some physiological learning content that could be used by other health professional students as well.
Do you in the United States, we have, medical students have to pass something called the MCAT, which is this test, as you probably know, that then allows, I guess they have to pass their boards to be board certified and all these other different certifications. Do you think that the testing, the questions themselves will help the students pass and pass that test, or is it not meant? Is it meant to be separate?
Currently, we aim for the board exam in other country as well. However, currently we only have the curriculum that inline in Indonesian medical doctor curriculum. However, we aim for that in the future as well.
Okay.
So Andres is, as you had heard, has a lot of experience in scaling companies into different geographies and being culturally orienting as well. So you might want to reach out and ask him what would be the challenges in going global from Indonesia to other places. And Vijay, do you have any questions?
Yes, thanks, Ozan. Terima kasih, Azza. Tell me about what is your revenue model? Just walk me through students. I mean, do you need a third-party institution to route your programming, or you go direct to the students?
Primarily, it's direct to the student medical students with premium subscription.
Which means then you become an institution that is legalized by the boards to be able to deliver this course. So I guess the question where I'm driving this is how validated is the content that is acceptable to the examining boards?
So we are in Indonesia currently because we are currently in using the curriculum in Indonesia. We are following our problem set, our exam from here. We have medical school lecturer who create the problem set for the exam, and we have them evaluate our content as well. So it's like kind of indirect or direct content validation from the exam creator itself.
What is your acquisition cost per student, and what is that percentage of the acquisition cost relative to the total fees that you expect them to pay for the year?
For the acquisition, currently we have zero marketing because we have MOU with the medical students organization and the medical schools organization. Regarding the what we expect is we expect for the each medical student to pay about $10 to $50 per month. Yeah, that's it.
Okay, thank you.
I wanted to ask one clarification. You said to Vijay that the model is direct to medical students, and then to me, I thought you had said that your primary customer might be the medical schools.
Sure, because we are planning. Currently, it is for directly for medical students. However, we are also planning for like a special education environment that may be needed for individual medical school as well. However, we have not
B2B2C or B2C, but you'll need to make it really clear in giving the message. Otherwise, it becomes confusing.
Currently, it is B2C.
And what was the decision there? Why did you decide to go to students instead of universities first?
Yes, because the medical students currently the one in Indonesia the pay tuition is currently expensive, and it is a bit hard for the medical students to pay extra costs for the educational. So it's like more like from the experiences. We are asking several medical lecturers from several medical schools, and it is more approachable for the medical students to pay extra cost for the education services.
Okay, you'll need to be a little bit more clear going forward, but that was a good one. We took it really long just to keep the judges warmed up as well, and we'll move much faster. Going from Indonesia to Bangladesh, and we'll have Polash presenting us Dataflow.
And thanks for joining me. I'm Polash Dotto, the founder and project leader at Dataflow. What is Dataflow? Dataflow is the statist of the Southeast Asia and open data. Currently, we are focusing on Bangladesh, where at least 800 companies waste time in data formatting, as data in Bangladesh is always found in static file format. Moreover, 900,000 managers lag in data analysis, as sector-wise open data are scattered across websites. In addition to that, at least 800,000 undergrads cannot use data, as data is unavailable in reusable format. As a solution to that problem, we provide the only web platform in Bangladesh where open data is available in accessible format. The total available market in Bangladesh is $149 million, and serviceable available market is $93 million, and the serviceable obtainable market is $28 million. Our product is a website. Someone comes to our website and searches for data, gets an instant result, sees the data and analysis, and then he or she can download the data. The core feature of our product is that we provide all curated open data in one place with accessibility, with quick analysis feature, and all the data are available in reusable format. We have at least 4 international competitors in open data business, but with local curated open data in one place and with quick analysis feature, we think we stand apart from them. We have planned to cover at least 5 more countries of Southeast Asia within next 5 years. Our business model is based on subscription. Both individual and company can subscribe to our product. We started in 2018. Till 2019, we had 3 clients. And in 2020, we have added 2 more clients to our portfolio. One is the world's largest NGO, BRAC, and the other one is a government agency. At the team, apart from me, there is Devobrata Mondol, who is the backend developer, and Shakil Ahmed and Rubaiyat Islam do the data gathering and analysis thing. We're raising fund for 12 months, which is $43K in amount, and we'll cover 11 sectors of open data in next 12 months, and we will earn 121K revenue within next 12 months. Of the fund, 35% will go for product development, 27% will go for sales development, and 20% will go for tech management. That's all. Thanks again for joining me. Any questions?
Well done, well done. Vijay is coming online. Polish is coming online. There we go. Vijay, do you want to start this one?
Sure, Ozan. Polish, thank you very much for your presentation. I guess I kind of lost the appreciation of what's the significance of this business. I get that you're a data company, but who really needs this data? Because I don't believe there's something too generic out there that you can actually one-size-fits-all solution. So help me understand that piece. And also, secondly, who are your existing customers? So I can have a better appreciation.
Polish, you're muted. You have to unmute yourself. Should work.
Yeah, hear me?
Tell us something. Yes, perfect. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, thanks, Vijay, for your question. The problem is it's not one size fits at all. What the problem we're trying to solve is that we have huge quantity of open data that companies need for their analysis, but when they're trying to get those data, they're always finding those data for different sectors, say for education, for business, for economy, for health, but no one can get those data, that sectoral data, in readily available format.
If you can give us an example from a customer, like we served to this customer, they needed this data and we provided, that would be much easier, because again, you're talking in very general terms, it doesn't make it concrete.
Yes, recently, this year in 2020, we have got a contract with a government agency, the Fisheries Ministry of Bangladesh. They have data from 1983 to 2019 in PDF format, in book format. What we are doing, we are making those data accessible and making for them a website or an web app with their data. That's an example. Also, another example we had. Yes, please.
So in a very crude way, what I'm hearing is basically you are digitizing data sets that is existingly available in various companies or institutions that is more accessible through organized information. That's what I'm hearing.
Yes.
So it's not a software that you're providing. You're actually providing more of a consulting service to digitize those solutions. Is that correct?
Not in
it's not a software as a service. So in other words, it's not a software that you have that you can possibly go to 100 customers and say, here's the software that you can use. You'll have to customize each solution per customer. And that's what I'm trying to get my head around.
That's a form of business, but there are more other data which will be available on Dataflow website for every users there.
Okay, so give me one example again that maybe I can be convinced of what you're saying.
Say, for example, we have recently opened education data for SSC level, secondary school certificate in Bangladesh. We have gathered all data for last 40 years, and those data are available in our website in accessible format. But apart from our website, no one can get those data in accessible format in Bangladesh.
So who is your customer for that data set?
The customer for those data set are the non-government agencies, non-government development agencies, and also the government agencies of the education ministry and those.
So I guess maybe following on Ozan's point is, it seems that you have a client where you're going to basically surface all the information, all the data, and make it public to the community, correct?
Yes.
All right. So are you charging the community who's doing the search for the information, or are you essentially charging the client? What's your revenue model on that?
We are charging both B2B and B2C.
Okay, thank you.
Sure. Anders?
I think Vijay had a second question that I was interested in, because in one of your slides you talked about the 2 clients you had in 2017, the 3 you had in 2018, and the 3 in 2019. However many it was, did those contracts end, or do you continue to service them to present day? How many clients do you currently have? Did those contracts with those companies previously end? What is your current situation in terms of the companies that you're servicing?
Okay, the data service, we haven't started the open data service yet. We have just we have opened the sample SSC result I was trying to Vijay, but those companies, the 5 companies I said, we have right now we have 4 of them are still our subscriber.
Okay, and so frankly, no, go ahead.
And they pay a consistent subscription fee to access your data set?
Yes.
But it's their own data?
No, it's not their own data. It was open data. We curated, we transformed, and then we build that visualization.
So those 4 companies that you're talking about, they are what you would describe as the end user who's paying to access the data that you've already amassed and put into your system.
Yes.
So now I think the next step will be to scale the platform, get more data, and make it usable for different client segments for which they will need a lot of some time and a lot of focus, actually. All right, perfect, good. It was hard to get what you're up to, but I think it gave you some advices on how you can actually pitch, going from the story from one customer, going to a product story, going to a scaling story. It will help you do a much better job in the future. Thank you so much, Polash. Thanks to the judges. Great questions. For each startup, we're trying to limit the timing for about 5 minutes. But don't feel free to jump in and ask questions, because that's really helpful for the founders. Next, we have Arabigo. Mariam is pitching from France.
Hello, dear audience. People face difficulties finding an efficient way to learn languages and struggle to master the right pronunciation. They also feel uncomfortable, embarrassed, and stressed while practicing a new language in real time. Arabigo is a fully rounded resource for learning Arabic, combining video tutorials to facilitate the reading, writing, and speaking practice in full conversations. Its platforms accelerate syllable defects detection by using artificial intelligence to overcome common speech pronunciation barriers and inappropriate patterns. Our solution is based on an AI-powered mobile app that converts Arabic audio into recognizable syllables and offers the users a new customized vocabulary path. I'll let the numbers talk. That simply shows the high potential that could rise behind Arabigo. Arabigo addresses a massive market opportunity, starting with 10 million immigrants in Europe, planning to expand to 3.5 million descendants in US, and targeting the 60% of the 9 million expats in Gulf countries in a long-term vision. We are building a two-sided market. The first revenue stream for B2C based on a monthly subscription starting from 6.67 euro per month. The second stream is for organizations based on the number of subscriptions starting from 45 euro per year. Similar solution providers are summarized in this table, but what makes us really different is the diversity of the content we offer for both ends and the fact we target a different market segmentation. Arabigo is simply an innovative, efficient, and affordable solution where the user pays less and gets more. Beta version to our users in August 2019 enabled us to collect 3,000 downloads, 650 subscribed users with an average note of 4.5 in the store, and over 100 website visits per day, which pushed us to launch the Android version in March this year. Here are the co-founders behind Arabigo, a group of mission-driven entrepreneurs who combine between a range of management skills and technical expertise, which is the main key of balance and harmony of our team. Thank you very much for your attention. Please have a look at our website and enjoy using our product.
Nice. And I'm expecting to see a familiar face. Mariam.
Yeah, you see me right now?
Yes, good to see you.
Nice to see you again, Ozan, after a few years.
Absolutely, being amazing. Now you're going to be having two different questions. One is Vijay will ask how much he has to pay to teach all Techstars startups a little bit of Arabic, and also how you're going to success.
Thank you. Thanks, Mariam, for your presentation. I'll be the first one to admit I'm very embarrassed staying in an Arabic-speaking country that I don't speak any Arabic. I struggle.
Me too.
I just can't get the pronunciation right. I'm awfully embarrassed. So I won't even try speaking the limited that I have right now. But back to your presentation. It's obviously great to see what you're doing. My biggest fear when you started the presentation was how do you stand out from the competition, because there are a lot of existing very reputable sites for language courses and that's accessible. So it seems like a crowded marketplace. The differentiation that I took away was not a strong one for me, and that was basically you can compete on price. That means you get more for less costs. And I'm not sure whether that's really a defensible value proposition. So I would like to address that. The second thing is, what do you mean by flexibility, and what's the significance of you doing this, your addressable market being in people outside the Arabic world, in Europe, namely? I don't appreciate why is there such a big deal that you are targeting to them, whereas Rosetta and the other competitors are also doing that. So please help me understand that. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. So it was like, I would say 2 questions. Do you hear me?
Yes, very, very much. I always like to give my questions in pairs, so just to be efficient.
Okay, so somehow I lost you. I'm not seeing you, but the main thing you're hearing me, so I'll keep going. So yeah, as you mentioned, I mean, there are a few competitors on the market, definitely. And I must say, like, there is no solution on the world where no competitors are already on the market. But what makes us really different is, as I mentioned, like the design and the ease of our service. We also offer like this flexibility for both ends. So we're not really just focusing on users, like it's not just a B2C solution, but also organizations. So it's B2B2C. with the possibility of creating custom functionalities and meet their business requirements. So we offer this, let's say, white label solution in a way that the organization can choose which content they want to have on this platform, and not just have the same content or the same level that other organizations they have.
So let me see if I got this right. You're saying that for the B2B marketplace, you're producing curated content. So for example, I'm thinking of, let's say you might have a travel industry or perhaps a food and beverage industry. You're allowing people to teach the grammar and the conversational skills in that unique environment.
Definitely,
Would that be is that exactly what you're doing versus what's out there in the marketplace is very generic?
Yeah, but still, I mean, as that was a good example you mentioned. What I meant is we already approach a lot of organizations and schools in France that are ready to teach Arabic in their classes, but also have been approached from other companies. They would like to add, for example, Arabic to their employees. And then we offer them the possibility to teach their employees Arabic through this online platform. Another partner we already had is a publishing company in France, in Belgium, and also Germany that offers and sells different book. It's kind of like a bookstore and a publisher, and they are now trying to digitalize the content that they are offering, and they are mainly focusing on selling Arabic books. So now we are offering them the possibility to sell the content of their books also through this online platform.
So an audiobook, for example, right?
Yes, definitely.
Okay. One thing that I took away from your presentation was pronunciation. What is unique about your technology, or that you feel so confident that pronunciation is a key differentiator?
Okay, so well, as we mentioned, Arabigo will act as this personal virtual pronunciation instructor, from the basic vocabulary and the grammar structure to pronunciation and continuous improvement. Well, myself, I speak 5 languages, and I've been living for in more than 3 countries, and I could tell you each time I'm speaking German here, I still even heard, well, oh, that's French accent behind it. So I know that it's a real struggle, and that to master the real pronunciation is a high challenge. And seeing the different solution already on the market, they offer great content, they have a great design, they have a great vocabulary and wide range of it, but they do not really focus on the pronunciation and try to make the user master it in a way to be able to speak, let's say, closely to a native speaker level.
Okay, 2 quick questions, because I don't want to just hog the whole ad time here. What do you mean by AI powered? I mean, is that a wishful thinking, or that's real technology you have?
So, if I may, maybe I don't know if you hear me.
Yes.
Would you?
Yes, I'm Anwar. So I'm co-founder of Arabigo, and for now we are trying to put in place this AI-powered technology, which is based, that all speech recognition system now are based on speech-to-text of English or for Latin transcriptions. So what we are doing now is to offer speech-to-text with native Arabic. So it will automatically goes from what you are saying to an Arabic transcript. The issue with when you go with English, for example, you have some sounds like ha, ha, etc. that are not pronounceable in English, so we lost them and we try to have an intermediate for it. So now we started analyzing the data of the users in order to have a deep tech solution of deep learning to recognize all the sounds and all the specificities of the Arabic language.
Okay, thank you. I'll rest my case.
I think for the sake of time, I will yield my time. Vijay asked some great questions.
Okay, thank you very much.
Hey there, this is Sean. Few years back, my colleagues and I were working on healthcare automation projects where we discovered that the leading cause of death in hospitals are infections, claiming 11 million lives each year, and this number is only going to rise further. Now, medical technologies have advanced so much in the past decades, but still, immunity drops, immune system backfires, and infection still spreads. This particular condition is called sepsis, and recent studies have shown COVID-19 infections can result in organ failure, meaning that it is not limited to respiratory failure. So COVID-19 eventually leads to sepsis, and our current health infrastructure is way overburdened. So we came up with an intelligent solution. Meet Nostroke, predicting sepsis using computer vision and artificial intelligence with high accuracy of 90.3% and only 2 medical staff required instead of 8. And what's beautiful is that Nostroke can look 6 hours into the future of a patient's health. Now, Nostroke works by acquiring high impact vitals and feeds it to its robust algorithm, which then predicts it in real time. And this data is collected using one of our devices called the Enware. And Deep Gnostics, our ICU management dashboard, is the representation of that data, where the red box indicates the severity of a person prone to sepsis. In addition to that, Nostroke provides 24/7 real-time remote monitoring, patient prioritization, and high customization. So what ends up happening here? Nostroke can save lives. And we see Nostroke to be a fit for hospitals, insurance companies, and nursing homes. Also, the cost of treating sepsis currently is a whopping $50 billion each year, and we're offering 30% cost reduction using our deep tech. And this is how we entered the market. We have validated our B2B segment by signing 3 MOUs worth $540,000, with hospitals having capacity of 1,800 beds. And we are all set to launch our MVP this July. And these are the partners that have been working with us to achieve this milestone. And our team, having a combined 30 plus years of experience and 10 plus years of experience solely in the healthcare industry, is making all of this happen. And to achieve the next milestones, we're raising $800,000. So let's join hands to revolutionize healthcare. Let Nostroke save lives. Thank
Okie doke. So Sean is here.
Hey there.
VJ is coming.
Yeah, just can you give me one
second? Sure. Okay. Hey, VJ. I mean, not VJ. How's it going,
Sean?
I'm doing good.
Good to see you.
How are you?
I had a quick question. The 90.3 specificity, what would lead the device not to be able to detect it correctly? What is the main reason why you can't have 100% specificity?
Oh, well, there is no test in the, I guess, entire universe.
Can't hear you.
My mic's on, actually.
Yes, we can hear you.
I think it's,
I can't.
Yeah.
Ah, okay. So that's.
Should I still answer?
Well, unmute yourself, mute yourself, and unmute yourself again, just to see the classical computer science engineering problem solution.
Yeah.
If you mute yourself and then unmute yourself. I can. Andres?
I can't hear him. No, maybe VJ takes over.
I can hear all of you.
Yeah.
I can hear all of you.
Okay. Go ahead, VJ, take over. I can't hear him at all.
Okay. So yeah, Sean, thanks for the presentation. It looks pretty impressive. The first question may sound like a joke, but you said Nostroke only scans 6 hours, but I thought machines are meant to work 24 hours. Explain.
Of course. Okay. Actually, what it means is it doesn't work 6 hours. It can look 6 hours into the future, meaning based on the data that we collect, we can do a prognostics of the human body basically in 2 hours, 4 hours, and 6 hours. So we can tell whether a person's organ will start deteriorating in about 2 hours, 4 hours, and 6 hours. So that's the beauty of machine learning that we are doing.
Yes, but let me stop you there.
The
For the machine learning to perform at that level, you need to have huge reservoirs of data sets to be able to perform
exactly.
effectively. But you're just kicking off. Where's the data sets coming from? Where have you obtained that information?
Perfect. But actually, we couldn't mention it in a 2.5 minute speech, but I'll explain. We collected data from various data science websites, and there's open data sets that are available from Kaggle, which is a very famous Google managed data website. And we use that, and we collected data here from Pakistan. So a very little amount of the data is from Pakistan, and the most amount of data is from different data set websites. And we combine those data because based on different demographics, we can use a technique called transfer learning, in which we are able to predict using data sets despite having different demographics. And this data is about of 40,000 patients, and each patient has data anywhere from 6 hours to 48 hours. So that is what we use, and it is only still for testing. The main data that we will use for the algorithm will be collected here when we are going to move further into our pilot projects, which we are doing here in Pakistan.
So Sean, you're selling a hardware plus a software. So I assume there is 2 revenue streams. Is that correct?
Yeah, exactly. I think this is my CEO would be better able to answer this if Eli could allow him.
Well, we could not add the other person probably. If Rashid should be here, but he might be muted.
Well, in the interest of time.
Vijay is cut now.
He is.
Yay.
Hello.
So we can't hear Vijay. And in the meantime, Andres, if
can you guys
cannot hear, I can hear you, but Vijay, we can't hear Andres.
I can hear you, but I can't hear Sean.
So if you have a question, I can direct it to Sean, Andres.
Yeah.
It'd be
lost the train of thought.
Well, I'm just curious. Like, I know that sepsis is a problem when it gets to be sepsis, and a low-level infection is quite easy for someone to self-diagnose. The issue is not self-diagnosis. It's likely that the person doesn't think it's a big deal before it's a big deal, right? And so getting someone to put on an app, getting someone to put on a device before they believe that whatever they have is serious seems like a difficult challenge.
Okay, I get the point. So, Sean, did you hear that?
Exactly. Yeah, I did hear that. Okay, so I'll give you an example. This is just one use case in which you could potentially save a life. Okay, yeah, I'll be super quick. So there are many cases in which you could develop sepsis after you have gone through a surgery, but what ends up happening is the doctor stitches you up, you're cleared, you're sent home, and then eventually there are a lot of cases in which the person dies of sepsis. So wearing one of these bands that we just developed right now recently, you're able to just predict whether the patient's organs are deteriorating based on the monitor. The vitals that we're collecting, as well as the organ failure that we're.
Andres' question was a little different, but think about the answer. We won't have time to put it. So his question was if people don't understand, don't feel the need, if they're not urgently in need of detecting this, they might not feel they need to use it. So it's a matter of how are you going to persuade people they need to use this, and how are you going to make a difference change? But that's a question to answer maybe in different places. And if you have it, we might pass the message to Andres. Thanks so much for the pitch. And we're moving on with mics and cameras off.
Hello, I'm Debrina from Eatever. Eatever is a website that connects and manages caterers in providing halal meals to corporates and events in Indonesia. So far, average value per transaction at Eatever is $100. Our sales in 2019 has reached $200,000, which is growing 257% compared to last year's sales. Itafor was founded on July 2017 by Dian Widayanti and I. Dian is a halal food influencer with expertise in sales and marketing, while I have experience in product development as I led a team who launched Ruang Guru apps at its initial launching. Ruang Guru is the biggest edtech startup in Indonesia right now. So, Itafor is trying to solve problems among corporates who are unable to reach affordable and quality caterers, and among caterers who are unable to reach full production capacity, lack of branding, or find difficulty to get halal certification, as Indonesian government requires all products sold in Indonesia are halal certified starting 2019. During COVID-19 pandemic, we also found new problem in the market. Most people are working from home, and they should manage their time well between working and family. That's why we launched new products that are frozen ready meals that will help, that will become a solution for women, especially working moms. Our target customers are daily catering for corporate and retail, and also corporate and events and individual events too. We choose to serve halal food because the global halal food market is expected to grow $600 billion in 2023. Next, we want to help caterers to scale up their business by providing tools that are operational management system dashboard that will help them to pass halal certification or other food safety certification. That's why we need $150,000 investment. Thank you.
Okay, doc. And we're back. Ulia from Indonesia will be answering questions about a really tasty topic. We're waiting for her to join in, and she'll just pop up. In the meantime, have you guys ever been to Indonesia?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful place, huh?
Delicious food too.
Absolutely. Ulia, can you hear us? We can't hear you. You have to unmute yourself.
Okay.
Perfect. Now we can hear.
Okay.
So, talking about delicious food, Andres.
Yes. In the one dynamic that I wasn't too clear about was on the corporate catering side. Do the corporates, is the idea that they would order in advance? What's the mechanism through which like, does it happen for day-to-day eating, or is it for specific events, or yeah, how does that work?
Okay, so specifically for the corporate customers, we have this account management team that handles their orders every day, and these corporate customers is have like daily catering because they provide lunch for their customers. Most of our customers serve more than 100 lunch for their employees per day. So there will be our market and our goal. And right now we already serve more than 40 customers just this year. So it's growing. Yeah.
There is a noise that's coming back and forth. Maybe the mic is kind of scratching in something. So if you can hold the mic.
Okay.
Because every time you move, we kind of have a scratch.
Okay, can you hear? Can you hear me more clearly?
Yes, much better.
Well, let me interrupt you. So I think you said every single day the companies order from you, and does that mean that how far in advance do you provide them a menu? And I used to work at a similar company. And do you work with restaurant providers, or do you cook your own food in your own kitchens, or are you partnering with restaurants? Can you describe that a little bit?
Okay, so currently we have around 40 vendors, which are the caterers and providers. They are a local catering, so we for each customers we have certain providers that serve them, and we also have like a central kitchen in order to back up if the vendors cannot provide certain customers. So we have a layer of backup in operations.
Okay. So the caterers sometimes don't deliver their meals on time, and so you have a backup option, which is to cook the meals in a kitchen?
No, for several corporate customers, they require a large number of quantity. For example, 100 portion for each day, which cannot be served by several providers. So we have to pick up if the quantity is not cannot be provided by the certain caterers.
So there's a risk element when you rely on external vendors and you don't have your own chain. Okay. Vijay?
Yeah, sure. So help me understand that you're actually focusing on the Indonesian market, because you said that the global halal market is growing rapidly, but I don't see you tackling the global market. I think what you're trying to say is that that there's some profile of customers that are seeking for halal consumption. You're focused in Indonesia, and where your differentiation is, you're trying to aggregate all the halal restaurants, kitchens into this platform. And your focus is primarily corporates, which gives you a bulk order. Would that be a correct description?
Actually, we already plan to enter regional market because right now we have established a company in Hong Kong, which will be working to enter Asian market. And we already have some potential distributors for our new product. So we have our new product, frozen food, that has been mentioned in the presentation before. We have potential distributors in Malaysia that will be our partners to try to enter this regional market. And currently, we are working on some permit and license to enter the global halal market, especially in Southeast Asia for now.
I see. So it's the same platform, Evereat, which is available country by country or city by city. I guess that's your vision, correct?
Yes.
But so what standards do you do to ensure that the restaurants are halal certified, for example?
What we do in Indonesia is we try to use some process with the halal authorization institution, which is the first one the caterers or the vendors that want to join us have to fill in the form. They have to describe the ingredients, the suppliers, and also the menu. And we have like some verification to visit their kitchen. So we try to make sure that they really serve the halal food, and we can duplicate this system into the regional market, like in Malaysia or in Singapore, that already have some like halal authorization. Like in Malaysia, they have Jakim, and in Singapore, they already have like some similar institution that can make a partnership with us, or we can.
So Vijay, both Vijay and Andres was trying to ask questions about scaling, and like going into one large country to another might take a little bit more time and effort, but putting into structures and formats will help you go to Malaysia, go to other places, and you've done some of it already. We hope you'll do more, and thank you so much for the presentation. I'm kind of getting in the way just to make everything go a little bit faster. We've done the majority of it. We have done 5 startups already. We have 4 more to go. And thank you so much, Julia, and I hope we can come and taste great food again whenever we can fly, which is probably not this year. Thanks so much for the questions. Yeah, unfortunately.
CloudHPC helps you running your own supercomputer on the cloud. Hi, this is Bahadur, the CEO and the founder of CloudHPC. I have a decade experience on advanced engineering simulations. John is my friend. He has a startup working on complicated multiphysics problems. One day, he asked for help to resolve insufficient computing power problem, blocked him to make larger real-file dynamic simulation for a car park. The only solution was HPC cluster. But HPC was for big guys only. He would lose the job or he would take the collapse risk. The solution we found was using the cloud resources. However, it was very difficult to set up and manage this process as well. That's why we developed CloudHPC to solve all these deployment and management problems. With CloudHPC, you have your own supercomputer ready in 1 hour. Our software is designed to integrate with the existing leading cloud platforms. It manages all provisioning and deployment process and auto-scale the system to decrease the cost. The overall HPC market was reported as 27 billion in 2018, and it's expected to be 44 billion in 2023. Today, customers are spending more than 1 billion per month for new HPC servers, and it's expected to reach almost 2 billion per month in 2023. With our software, our goal is to redirect these spendings to cloud by solving the customer's cloud platform problems. We have two different revenue models to serve various customer segments, SaaS model and on-premises subscription model. We are very competitive with especially the data privacy we provide with dedicated environment feature because data security is the most important concern for the customers. We have established a partnership with Alcazar Engineering, which was a startup at that time, and they could get many advanced engineering projects as a startup with the capabilities they get using CloudHPC. We have a great experienced team with passion to solve this problem. We are asking for the $1 billion purpose of improving our product and entering the market with competitive features. Thank you very much.
Good. Nice.
Cool.
Bahadur is online, Vijay is online, Andres is online. Guys, which one of you want to take this first shot?
I have I'll just jump in quickly. So your main mechanism for getting customers is partnerships with engineering companies?
No, not partnership. We have a software and it can run on premises environment. They can run on their own environment.
So
they don't need us.
How do you get the customers? How do you find them?
How do we find? Especially, we know that the products or the softwares require HPC, like for CFD simulations, OpenFOAM, most used application. And we know that if someone needs this software,
how do you find them?
How do we find them? Yeah, using these groups. And so we focus on the industries, actually, automotive and the biomechanics.
So you yourself approach a automobile company and say, hey, we know you're using this other software to manage your data for these projects. We can charge you less and do it better.
Yeah, of course. Yes, exactly.
Okay.
So it's active sales, and so you need a lot of sales force, maybe, because I don't think it's very easy to onboard people onto HPC.
So kind of like building on Andre's question, what is your experience with the sales lead cycle?
Not much, actually. We don't have. We are based on Turkey now, and actually, that's why we can't have much experience on this. Yeah, I can't.
But when you approach to customers, do you have any pre-users, beta users, alpha users?
Yeah. We have beta users. Actually, we have also completed 100 projects on this system with our beta users. And we have contact with very big automotive factories. We know that they have small clusters in their systems, and they are having some problems. And they are losing money with because of waiting jobs on these systems. And
yeah, we get the it's difficult, but we get
we know the problems of the enterprise and enterprise and startup problems. We have beta users from both categories.
So let's hear from VJ if he has any.
Yeah, so
any of you guys.
One quick one, and I'll pass it on to Andre. So, what stops, say, like AWS doing what you're doing? I mean, I'm trying to understand.
Sure.
You know, they have huge data warehouses and processing power. What stops them from doing what you're doing? And if you are struggling to get customers yourself, I can't imagine.
No. Yeah, let me explain. If you check the services provided by AWS, you will see that for any AI solution or like Kubernetes or Docker, other solutions, you will see that they don't focus on the specific industry solutions. I mean problems. Sorry, think that you have a problem about automotive industry. AWS will not resolve this. Just they will provide a generic service, will resolve the shared problem of all industries. Like they did, now you can run your own cluster manually. It's okay. But they don't resolve this because, it is industry. It requires, we have now 300 applications catalog. And that means wide area, biomechanic, automotive, or different industries.
So you have built a niche area that AWS is not fully serving at the moment.
Yeah, actually, AWS.
Yeah, we get it.
Yeah, you understood, right?
Yeah, I'm trying to rephrase to make it faster.
Okay. I'm good. I'm good. Thank you.
All right, perfect.
I just want to make a comment. Abade, thank you for the dry humor in your presentation.
Thanks. You're killing me. Thank you so much. Yes, now we're almost there. 3 more. Going to India with Faisal with Sillebes.
Hello everyone, myself Faisal, CEO and founder of Sillebes Technologies. 4 years ago, myself and my wife and other co-founders of Sillebes was managing an IT company together. It is an IT city with around 400 to 500 celebrations happen every week in different companies. And we had a problem to solve for ourselves. For all our celebrations, we are only access to nearby restaurants in which food is not healthy and adulterated. So we thought to create an ecosystem of nearby homemakers who are passionate in cooking and thirst for the revenue. So Sillebes is a food tech marketplace for women to earn and actually they can work from home. We call it as a crowdsourced kitchen, expecting 100,000 women to join the group and 300,000 man hours per day with 10 million square feet of cooking space and thousands of varieties of dishes. Our business model was supplying from home to office, home to home, but to ensure daily steady revenue, we latest introduced home to shop model. We supply our products in retail outlets. Our early traction was quite promising with 75 plus corporate customers, 7,000 plus women joined, and 15K USD revenue for first 150 days, and expecting 15K USD monthly revenue from July 2020. The working style is that we receive order through app and chef get alert and they start preparing and our outsourced delivery team will deliver on time. On the other hand, our next big step after successful POC in retail is Sillebes Little Shop, a branded kiosk in every corner of the city, partnering with supermarket and high footfall area, which will recall our brand daily and bring daily business tractions. In this model, for easiness and undisturbed supply, we source food from local central kitchen deployed by Sillebes team. According to Indian food delivery forecast in 2019 to 2023, it is forecasted as 5 billion USD market. And Sillebes with all 3 model, expecting 243 million USD revenue per year after 3 years. We stand completely ahead in our competition with our bulk order focus and celebration model and retail shops. but seems most of our competitors focus on daily meals and struggling with delivery cost. Our team is highly capable with mix of technology, retail, and growth hackers and growth strategists. We are asking $500,000 USD with 10% executive to expand operation to 15 cities for spending for operations, tech development, marketing, and sales. Thank you very much.
Another great foodie startup, and Faisal will be joining us. Great cause, interesting business model. I'm curious on what Vijay will have to say on that one.
Thank you very much, Faisal, for your presentation. I guess you made a good argument that for brand recall, you want to go into physical space. You know, is the capital raise that you're doing is to fund the expansion of the retail physical space? You're muted, I think.
Faisal, I can't.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
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 Perfect.
So what we do is actually we tie up with the existing shop. This is a small kiosk, which it is very small. So we take just a power connection from them, and we run it actually by giving a small rent per day.
Right. Second question is, how do you ascertain the quality and safety standards from the crowdsourced kitchens of 7,000 chefs?
All our chefs are actually FSSI certified. Okay. And we have a screening plan actually. And after FSSI, they have to take the skin test certificate to be produced. Then after that only they can join the group.
Right. And what is the, with the volume business you have, what is the repeatability of those house parties? So how many corporates, is this like a monthly thing that they organize, or it's like once a year-end party that they have?
Yeah, every week there is a party in offices actually. So we have something like 83% of recurring companies, and parties in home also is always, but that is not in a weekly basis. It is always like occasional.
And what margin of the $100 average ticket size do you take?
It's like 35 to 40%.
And that includes the distribution costs?
Yes. Yes.
So if you if you strip away all the outsourced costs, including distribution, etc., what is your net margin?
Net margin comes to nearly 30%, 25 to 30.
Okay, that is a good number, but it didn't compute, because if you say 35% is your gross margin and now you're saying 30% is your net margin, I think something doesn't.
No. It's like 35 to 40% is the gross. Okay. And 25 to 30% is actually the net margin.
Got it.
So 10 to 12%, 10 to 15%. That's all. Andres, you're hungry.
I'm hungry. Vijay was hinting at this with the first question, but I'm not sure you answered it, which is, so you have this business model that is based on these parties, and now you want to go into physical space. You haven't yet gone into physical space. Is that correct?
Yes, we had already tested partnering with a hypermarket chain in two shops, and it went well.
Okay.
Yeah, but we were selling like 2,500 snacks per day.
What percentage of your capital raise of the 500K do you suspect will go to this part of your business model?
Within 3 years, we are targeting
What percentage of your 500K will go towards this part of your business model?
So are you going to spend $200,000 to do the new physical location? Are you going to spend $400,000? But not in 3 years out of the 500.
Yes. Yeah, in retail, maybe something like 60% we are going to spend it actually on the retail model.
So $300,000 will go to retail.
Yeah. Because central kitchen and the kiosk. That's what we plan.
Yeah, it's expensive.
Yeah.
All right. All right. It's not as expensive as it would be in different places, but still expensive.
So Faisal, just one quick question on that. So in your vision, what percentage of the pie chart in terms of revenue will be should be contributed by the retail space versus the office parties?
You mean retail space? Retail space will contribute, I think, something like 60 to 70%. Because that is a daily traction. Other one is actually occasional tractions.
Okay.
So it seems to me that with that in mind, you're shifting away from the emphasis on house parties, but going to retail, which means you'll have fixed operating expenses with staff, rent, utilities committed. That's what you're saying to us.
I will explain.
I mean, we will be out of time. We're already quite out of time, but next time, think about this mix of incorporating that into the question, saying there's a reason because we're going to have higher margins or vice versa. But good questions, great piece. Now we're going to someplace I lived before in Saudi Arabia. Tagreed will be pitching Upscalable.
Hello, my name is Dr. Tagreed Al-Siraj. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Upscalable. What is Upscalable? Upscalable is a virtual assessment platform that predicts personnel performance. When my co-founders and I were brought in to lead teams at our organization, we found that some of our team members were not capable of doing the job that they were originally hired to do. So we found that hiring through traditional method is subjective, prone to bias, and inefficient, which often led to poor hire. And that is when Upscalable was born. We wanted to hire people based on merit. So we developed a platform that assesses candidates on their cognitive ability, domain-specific skills, and personality, and comes up with a job fit score. This is an example of how our platform will look like that has a job fit score. We also have the capability to compare candidates according to their scores. Our target market is the UK, GCC, and we have partners in Asia Pacific, as well as we're looking to expand in North America. The global online assessment service is about $4.2 billion. As you can see, we are situated in the market as per the graph at minimal customer investment, as well as multi-dimensional assessment. But our competitive advantage is that we have an engine that allows companies to develop their own skills assessment if they wanted to. We also have a pre-screening engine to filter candidates. We also are adding video interviewing, which component that is going to be coming soon. We acquire customers through online direct sales and channel partners. These are some of the companies that we've worked with. This is the projected revenue based on won deals for 2020. We have a diverse and international founding team. Our revenue for this year is going to be $904,000 based on 8,000 assessments sold. We're looking to raise $1 million, and this will go towards marketing, sales, and development.
Wonderful. Before Vijay, I'll try to read Vijay's minds and ask his question, I hope. So if Dr. Tagreed, if you can hear me, out of the $1 million that you just mentioned you're going to spend on this and this and this, what's your acquisition cost per customer, and how much revenue will you be hoping to generate spending some money from the investors?
Can you hear me
correctly, Vijay?
Yeah, I would agree. I will support that. Thank you.
You're welcome. Yes, we can hear you. Go ahead.
Oh, okay, good. Okay. So you're asking about the cost of customer acquisition? Yeah, so it's about $6,000. We're B2B.
$60,000?
No, $6,000.
$6,000.
Yes.
And when you acquire that customer for $6,000, how much is the lifetime value of that customer?
So our average deal is $90,000.
In which time frame? Per year?
No, per deal that we have. We have now currently like around 10 customers, and that's why we have the revenue of $904,000 for this year.
So
that
like
it's already been signed.
Okay, so $90,000 is the amount of revenue you get from a customer per year.
Yes. For the deal.
You sure?
Yes. Yes.
Well, I'm asking per year. What's the amount per year?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm. Can you explain the question?
One customer, how much do they pay you per year? I don't care about per deal.
Well, it's about it's around roughly around $90,000. Yes.
Per year, annually.
Yes, because you remember we're assessment and professional services.
Okay.
Yes,
we're fine. I mean, per deal doesn't make too much sense, but sorry about that. So Andres, this is one of your areas as well. Go ahead.
So you have you've developed a technology that allows for an assessment on various different vectors.
Yes.
So that is like a pre-qualification tool, and then the company will still need to interview the candidate, right?
Yes. So we usually when we assess them, we assess them on three things: cognitive, behavior, personality, as well as skills. And so instead of 1,000 people, let's say, apply for a job, automatically we can say the top three are this. So instead of the company spending their time and going through all these candidates, they just go for the top three. And then from there has to be an element of personal contact, but we've saved them all this time. And so they look at with the job fit score. So each one has a job fit score, and they can choose from those three to do the interviews for, and they can basically choose from the top three.
What sector of has been the most promising? Hourly employees or high-level skilled workers, would you say?
So one of the things is that the competitive advantages we have is that we are most widely used for all sectors, but segments is IT, let's say IT. So we IT and IT management skills. But if you're asking what C-level or above, or is that what you're asking? Is that the question? The level of employment.
Sure. Is it?
Yeah. So we can take fresh graduates because we're economically feasible to use us. So we can use fresh graduates coming into jobs that you want to assess all the way to C-level across the board.
Like Andres's question was like, which part of that large spectrum is going to be more important? You will be more important for, like, companies looking for a lot of young graduates, or companies looking for established C-level players?
No, actually, our competitive advantage is we can be across the board for all. Like a lot of companies now, when you saw the segmentation, that they focus on, they're very expensive, so they're just going for the C-level jobs. But for us, we can utilize fresh graduates, middle management.
So you don't have a priority. Okay, that was All right, Vijay.
Yeah, thank you. So one quick question is, so it seems that your model is working on a very few clients at a time, almost like a search recruiting agency. So I'm curious around the scalability of your software. So how would you scale, say, across different countries rapidly? Do you need people, troops on the ground to be able to service a client? Just that question.
Okay, so I think it was two that I can understand from your question. One is that we started basically in Saudi, and we made sure that we have viable products, and we started using it, and that's why we have the 10 customers in Saudi. and that's the revenue of the 904,000 that we've signed deals already for this year. We are also we started the business development in the UK, and we have now spoken with and demoed our product for 30 companies in the UK. We have live 6 companies that are using our platform, and we have another 13 that are willing to pilot also as well. So we are testing in the UK, and it looks promising.
So I think Vijay's questions, you needed somebody in the ground in UK to do this. So
yeah,
every
we
country
do. You do.
will be a new office.
No, actually, we're a lot of offline. Okay.
If you allow Andres, who has actually taken one company and took to multiple places, maybe he has something, some wisdom to share.
I was going to have a different question, just to keep it going, but I could share something on international.
No, go ahead. We're on the last one.
Why is the cost of acquisition 6,000?
Oh, because no, 6,000, just 6,000. Yeah. It's just because basically now we're focusing the co-founders are actually, we are the salespeople for this. So we're the ones that are selling this product, and so the cost of that is high. So supposedly, if we can get, that's why we're
valuing your time. You're valuing your time at 6,000.
Yes.
And then and the mechanism through which you get a customer.
So we're online. Yeah. So we're all online. Yes. We don't have the right people sales.
Okay, so I think the last piece was a surprise to the plot. We would assume that customer acquisition cost will be almost zero if your only co-founders are working to it, but it appears it's not. But maybe we'll find a different way to figure it out. So we have to move to the next one. Yeah, we get it. We need more clarification. Some kind of.
But just saying that it's the value of the time, but it's not the value of the actual money, because we are.
Which by saying 6,000, you misled us to believing you're spending 6,000.
Okay.
Then it appeared you're not spending 6,000, and it turns out to be everything you said at the very beginning with my question just went into thin air. But anyways, it's a good model. Good luck. Keep pushing. And finally, after like 25 minutes of delays, but that's okay. We're enjoying our time. We're here to help the startups. And thank you so much for the questions. We are on the last pitch. Kito will be pitched by Amal. If you guys can mute and turn your cameras off, that'll be perfect. Me included.
Good morning. I am Amal Pierce. Along with Vaidya and our advisors, we collectively bring experience in successfully scaling startups and global operations. Our team consists of investors and leaders from the industries of technology, logistics, banking, financial services, and insurance. Commercial enterprises and government institutions process 98 billion pages as of this year. This involves large teams to manually sort, enter, and verify the information. Use of multiple tools depending on the input form and channel is cumbersome and expensive. Using Kito's simple to use modular learning platform, organization can now automate information extraction reliably with a smaller team. We reduce total cost of ownership by dealing with free-flowing documents in both digital and physical format for different industries and use cases. The global form processing market is around $10 billion, and our current target market has an upside of $120 million. A large market research firm has validated the data for Kito. We plan to grab $11 million within 5 years with our specific use cases like invoice processing, accounts payable, and receivable. Then go after the next $120 million space. We have a SaaS pricing model, pay per use. Our existing channel partners gives us access to logistics, BPO and financial services industry with their reach. Last year revenue was $90,000. Given the $180,000 contract already signed, we plan to end this year with $600,000. We are catering into automation companies, Government of India, BPOs and accounting firms. We delivered 4x productivity for our customers while processing 2 million pages and 120,000 plus emails. Kito is looking to raise $1.5 million in the current round, predominantly to boost the sales and marketing operations. We already have received commitments for the $700,000. This will help Kito reach operational profitability by October 21 and achieve a cumulative revenue of $1 million by the end of 2021. Thank you.
Nice. So this was the last pitch of Startup Istanbul 2020. We're having welcome. Amal from Kito is here to answer your question, guys.
Good morning, guys. Thank you for your time.
Pleasure.
It seems to me nice to meet you. I wanted to just get a little clarification on where you see your competitive advantage, because I think it is a quite crowded space. So I wanted to hear what makes you guys so special.
So the space consists of overall 63 players in the market. So we are clearly positioned as a generic AI platform which could help enterprises configure and use their own data to achieve their target. Let's take an example of an accounts payable scenario, right? We have a large third-party logistics company where they receive their entire invoices via email, and they have a back office team who downloads the emails, attachments, and process it into their end system, customer system, right? So what happens in the customer system, somebody validates the data which is available there. It could have an invoice, it could have a proof of delivery, it would have a bill of lading and multiple other documents. They will validate the data and ensure that the accounts is settled, right? So this whole process is really cumbersome and it involves a time and cost per transaction. So this customer has around 20,000 transactions per day. So what we have done with Kito, we have 3 different products. One is Ira. Ira is an email automation product where emails are processed in. It will show the context of the emails and how it can be automatically classified. So you don't need any human intervention. After the emails are processed in, the attached documents passes into our another system called as Capture, which is again a modular system, which could be trained by users' data so that it works for that specific set of documents, right? It could be an invoice, it could be their bill of lading, and we extract relevant data out of it, the keys and values out of it, and it is directly processed into the SAPs and the ERP system for the customers. So this helps them save a lot of dollars, millions of dollars for the customer. Does that give you an idea?
Each one of your solutions is customizable to the company that you're working with. You don't have a one-stop shop. You go and you customize solutions for every single customer.
So that's a good question, Andreas. So we don't customize it. We have provided enough video collaterals where the end user could configure their own systems, right? So what are the challenges with an AI system is that most of the times whenever we talk about AI, this is all services which is happening around, right? You go into the system, the RPA companies would do a customization, or it could be an extraction company who does a customized fit for that industry. And whenever there is a change, they need to go back to the team, right? There is a change, I have a new vendor adding up, I have a new channel partner adding up, it becomes really difficult. So what we have done is we have a system where the classification engine or the extraction, we call it, this could be created by the customer. They could feed in their own data. Based on their data, it would rightly tag their documents as invoices or different categories of KYC documents and so on and so forth. And they could tag which all document values needs to be extracted, right? You could mention your own values and you have to train a minimal set of documents. That is what we have achieved with our platform. So normally in the deep learning space and AI space, as you already know, it requires a lot of data to get it trained. So our base model allows them to run this entire system on a minimal data set of up to 50 training documents per type of document, and they could be able to extract this information fast.
Okay.
And then
tricky
that
business.
Data, and then that data plugs into some other softwares that exist out there, right?
Yes, absolutely. So it is a complementer to the BPMs or the RPA kind of softwares available.
Got it. So, and then within companies, who is the person within a company that you're often selling to? Who's how do you reach that customer?
So today we have already established a channel partnership model. We have channel partners who is catering into India, Singapore, Hong Kong. So they are all mid-level companies, but the leadership of the team is CXOs from the certain industries like banking, logistics, insurance. They have already worked with, which helps us to sell it through. At the same time, we also have a process re-engineering consultant companies also onboarded, and the large enterprises like Microsoft also we have recently onboarded for their COSL program, where we could easily reach into their end customers for automation. Does that address your question? And our direct sales is predominantly by inbound marketing. So we have a lot of collaterals and content which is created in, and that generates our direct sales. So our direct sales typically focus on few industries, and
I think the
remaining part of
the which individual, who's the economic buyer in the companies, and through direct sales you're reaching out to customer CTOs and CSOs probably.
Yeah, so his question has two parts. So one was what was our go-to-market strategy, and second was who is our target person who is going to take the decision. So the go-to-market strategy, I think I have covered it up. Any questions? Yeah, thank you. And in terms of the person who is taking a decision, it would be a CIO or a CTO who is going to take a decision for such kind of a product. So we have identified a different approach where we started.
Let's get Vijay's questions. Like you're really giving up the whole business plan. That's not what we're asking, and we don't have the time for that one. Brief.
No, sure.
We got
Thank you.
CTOs, CXOs is a good answer.
So Amal, just building on the go-to-market, I want to understand, is your best shot approaching, say, industry verticals, for example, maritime, shipping, real estate companies where there's a lot of documentations, or is it better to go to other IT services companies like BPOs who invariably are in existence to process information? So who is really the best hit in terms of getting the value across?
So the first would be the BPOs in terms of that hierarchy, because BPOs already has a lot of volume of document getting processed in. So we already cater into 3 large BPO companies, so each of their departments. Second would be the shipping and logistics company where they have a lot of data which is getting processed in. So that's right, Vijay.
So in the case of your first tier companies, is your business model to white label your solution so they kind of own the software in the back end, so ultimately the customer doesn't know what is their capabilities? Is that the strategy there?
So white labeling, we have tried white labeling in the past, one and a half year before. But today we have a SaaS billing model where we implement the solution for them on-premise, install it on-premise, and then track as per their use. So we ensure that they are on track to get the right output as per the process which is required to be established in. But white labeling, we are not doing it at the moment. So we have tried it, but it has its own pros and cons.
And last question is, how long does it take to onboard a customer?
So the customer can self-onboard and start using it. We have customers in POCs for 15 days. So to establish the whole platform, it takes 60 days. Right? You train and set it up, to go to production.
Just one thing that's confusing, I just want to add is, you mentioned that you do go on site to help them set up, but then you also say that they can self-onboard. That part is a little bit confusing to me.
So for a customer, so what we have seen in the space is in terms of the processes, they will be clearly aware about their current process. But when you look at a next generation process, so in the space, we call it the 2B process for the companies. So what we have seen is like they would be following exact replica of their current process will be mapped into the software, right? So you could create the engine and you create the workflows, which is same replica of their current process, but that could be optimized, right? So what we do is we look at, after the trial period, we look at the process which they have implemented. We suggest them what would be the right processes as per the industry standards, which could be easily configured in the platform. So that adds more value. So we try to create that as a
Is that something you charge for?
So that we don't charge the customer for at all. So because our average size of a customer is large, yeah.
Which,
okay.
if you're giving that much value, you should get that much value. Thank you so much, Amal.
Absolutely.
It's a good wrap up.
Yeah. Thank you.
You're welcome. So, if you, I think the 9 is good. So I'm waiting for Amal to say farewell, and I'll have the 2 judges. So the 9 teams have done a great job. Thank you so much. The 9 teams have done a great job. Thanks. Have a good one. And good luck with the fundraising. And now you've seen, maybe I'll give you the order, Indonesia, Bangladesh, France, Indonesia, Pakistan, Turkey, India, Saudi, India. So a lot of emerging economies, or like I wouldn't call India an emerging economy, it's huge. But in the startup side, there's a lot of room that and they're picking up pace. So is Middle East, so is Pakistan, so is Turkey. So looking from your angle, from Andres, from one guy in one desert, I'll move into another guy in another desert. Looking out from US, how do you see this emerging markets pace? Do you see them as a threat? I wouldn't call threat, but a challenger to the established ecosystems like US, or do you see there will be more unicorns coming out of US? How do you evaluate that?
No, I mean, because I get the opportunity to come speak at a bunch of different emerging market conferences, and I get to come in contact with a lot of different founders. My feel is that the ecosystems that are developing their own identity have a real potential to become great players in the global system. There are some ecosystems and startup communities that really like to mimic Silicon Valley, and I think that's a mistake, because there are some really beautiful ways in which knowing who you are and the culture that you come from and is really where the competitive advantage is, and those startup ecosystems I see great promise in.
Perfect. I agree. Like Silicon Valleyization will not help us go anywhere in this part of the world. I mean, while I was living in San Francisco, everybody was flocking to our offices and asking, how can we be the next Silicon Valley? We want to be Silicon Alley, we want to be Alley Valley. But that I haven't seen any of them properly work. And Vijay has been doing like market development, startup ecosystem development in Middle East for a while. And how do you see the changes in the couple of years you've been in Abu Dhabi?
I think the changes have been pretty positive, in the sense that it was a nascent ecosystem, say 10 years ago, but today you had a couple of big exits, the likes of Careem acquisition by Uber, acquisition of Souk by Amazon a few years back. It's really too much to expect the region to produce that sort of unicorns and exits on an annual basis. But what you can see below the surface is a number of deals rising consistently in terms of deal size and volume. And if you look at, say, Egypt ranks number 1 in terms of volume, just by the sheer number of the marketplace. A lot of homegrown companies focus on the Egyptian market. A couple have actually gone global. But now he's looking at Saudi Arabia, which is rapidly opening up in the last 24 months, having announced, I think, 2025 VCs established there not too long ago. So it is really developing an ecosystem which is quite robust. Now, to the question of whether it's, how do you compare a developing market versus a developed market? I think that's no longer the right question to ask. I'm reminded by a book by Hans Glossing, who wrote the book Factfulness, who says there may be 4 types of economic strata. One are the people who don't wear slippers, so they'll walk barefoot. The second tier, the people who actually have slippers or ride a bicycle. The third is with countries and cities with some cars, and then the fourth being countries and cities with lots of cars. So that puts in perspective of today, whether you're in Asia or in the Americas, you can see that four-tier economy coexisting, side by side. But what that speaks to is when you look at a business like, say, the most recent presenter, Amal, he could be essentially servicing his BPO clients in India, but equally, his clients will be in New York or San Francisco. So it's really hard to pigeonhole a developing vis-a-vis a developing country. I think there are companies in these emerging countries that can play the global, spectrum, as well as then the companies are really good at taking advantage of the, as traditionally we know, of the developing market nuance, understand the consumer behavior. For example, Karim is successful versus Uber in the early days because they understood that not everyone has a credit card, but they can accept cash just by mode of transportation. So those nuances is where it sets a point of differentiation. So I think it's hard to generalize it. That's why I think it's exciting to work in this region, because you're seeing both opportunities.
I agree. And as we have seen in the 9 teams and the questions, the judges and the I hope you didn't see like Vijay and Andres as judges. They're just giving their experience and trying to guide you towards pitching better, answering questions better. And it's really helpful. And since we have Elif now to officially close the demo day of 2020 for Startup Istanbul, I thank you so much for your time, for your participation, for your candid questions. And I'm really looking forward to be physically close and enjoy company with every one of you. Good luck in Texas, good luck in Abu Dhabi, and good luck to us all in Turkey and Istanbul getting away from this virus and pandemic. Love you all. Goodbye.
Thank you, Ozan.
Thank you, Vijay and Andres. It's been 4 weeks actually of acceleration program that we organized for 79 startups from 15 different time zones. So it was a busy month actually for all of us, and this is the last day of it. And thank you again for all your contributions. And if you would like to meet one-to-one, of course, with any of those startups, just let us know. And for the startups also, I have a couple of things to say. You all did very good job actually in your pitches and question answers. And thank you very much for being a part of Startup Istanbul Acceleration Program. And we hope to see you in Istanbul face to face, as Ozan said.
Have a good night. Have a good morning. Enjoy the rest of the time.
From London. Bye-bye.
Bye.